Welcome to Sleepless Readings. Tonight we'll be reading a tale called I Bought a Love Potion.
Here's this beautiful woman I work with named Megan. She has eyes that are as blue as the sky and blonde hair that blows so perfectly when she drives off in her Jeep. Her curves make me want her in such a divine way, as well as her floral tattoo sleeve that must have been done by an angel. It all began when I accidentally bumped into her walking around a corner. Hot coffee pushed up against my white dress shirt and I dropped the cup. She apologized with such empathy. After we began talking, I caught her name and found her on social media. She loves concerts and good times. I could just picture us traveling and going to concerts and theme parks all over the world. At first, I questioned if it was a lust thing, but it's not. I could see us having kids, her meeting my grandma, us holding hands in a rocking chair as her blonde forms to white. But she didn't like me back. I did never directly have the courage to ask her out on a date, but plenty of guys in the office gave her attention and she would soak it up. It made me sick. I was never good with getting a girl to like me. It wasn't until I was playing Xbox with one of my friends that I found my solution.
Hey man, why don't you go talk to my uncle? I'll text you his address, he can help you.
My stomach turned as I had no idea what they could have meant. It was strange to try to piece together why his uncle would help me and how he could, but my heart was beating like a drum, and it felt as if it was going to physically drag my body to this man's house if I didn't grab my car keys instantly. His uncle lived about an hour away on this back road I never heard of. No other houses, no other traffic. It was just one long dirt road with a tiny cottage at the end of it. My stomach, once again, felt like it was about to flip over. There on the porch sat an old man wearing overalls and a straw hat. He didn't have a shirt under it, and he was holding a mason jar full of corn whiskey. I got out and walked up to him. Hello, my name's Tom. Jacob told me that you could help me. He took a few big gulps from his jar with his shaky hand.
Name's Jethro, or you can call me Doc.
I don't know how you can help me, but I'm here
Because you want a lady to love you. This isn't my first time a scrawny and shy man has approached me. Follow me.
He stood up and opened his screen door to his home, signaling to let me in. His house was full of strange artifacts and books. In the midst was a huge cauldron. He began digging in a drawer and pulled out a tiny bottle.
Pour this in her drink and she'll go crazy for you.
Are you just playing jokes on me?
Well, if you don't want it.
No, please. How much do I owe you?
$300.
I felt like I was being scammed, but I couldn't put a price on my future wife. I was desperate. I tried to devise my plan on how to get her to drink this. I couldn't just pour it in her drink. I know I'd get caught by someone. During everyone's lunch break, I snuck by her desk and poured it in her mug. It felt like hours passed. I'd glance over at her desk and see if it worked. Eventually, she seen me looking, and I could tell she felt awkward. She knew I was watching her. I knew it was too good to be true. About the time it was time to leave, I felt a tap on my shoulder. Megan had such a huge smile.
Hey, Tommy. I was wanting to go to a pub nearby before I went home. I'd hate to go alone. How about you join me? Please.
I was starstruck. I could tell all these other chumps were full of envy. I wasn't about to ruin a good thing, so I agreed to meet her there. We spent such a long time in that pub. Well, she brought me some drinks to try, and we had such amazing food. She kept asking questions about me and was so amused and connected in the conversation. She invited me back to her place. Once we got to the door, she kissed me and pulled me back to her bedroom. It was such a blissful moment. A few months go by and she was so loving on me. We ended up getting married and had a wonderful honeymoon, and we moved into her house that she had already paid off. Some time passed and me and Jacob had plans to go get a beer together. He was supposed to come pick me up and she was acting awfully jealous about it.
It's okay, dear. I'll go by the farmer's market and get some ingredients to make us a delicious dinner tomorrow. But I wish you'd invite me. You're not mad at me, are you? Please say you aren't mad, my honey bear.
While I was showering, I could hear Jacob walking in our home, and she got talking to him.
Don't you just love Tommy? Isn't he the greatest? If you don't feel the same, you shouldn't be going out with him. He deserves so much love.
Once I was dressed, I went to go to Jacob's truck with him, and he was as pale as a ghost. I looked at my window, and she was blowing me a kiss from it. We were going down the road, and he wasn't saying anything. By now, we'd be talking about baseball or the next video game we were planning on buying.
Your wife threatened me.
What?
She said if I ever take you out again, she'll cut my throat.
She must have been joking.
I don't think so.
She texted me 53 times while I was gone for an hour. He dropped me off back home and I walked in the house. She turned around from the groceries and I dropped my keys. She had my name tattooed on her forehead.
Isn't it great, baby? I wanted the whole wide world to know you're mine. What do you think?
She handed me a glass of lemonade, which I drank quickly. I need to go grab my laptop from the car. I went to go walk out the door and it felt like I was hit by a truck. My body flew back into our living room and I hit the ground hard. I looked up and there was a 7-foot shadowy figure standing at our door.
I guess I haven't got to tell you about my day. At the farmer's market, I got telling everyone about how much I love you and how I'm the luckiest girl in the world. There's a man I met named Jethro. He told me he could give me a potion that would fix it to where you could never leave the house. That way you'd never have to leave again.
Megan, I have to leave.
It's too late for that, silly. You won't ever be able to. Jethro also gave me another potion for the both of us. Immortality. Now we'll never have to go through the pain of losing each other.
This can't be real.
Thank you for listening. That was I Bought a Love Potion.
Don't forget to like the video, it does help to boost the channel.
There's new stories every Sunday.
Not to mention the shorts on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
So subscribe.
And ring the bell.
Thanks, guys. And, as always, stay sleepless.